Hello and welcome to the Passion Driven Pioneers interview series. I'm your host, John Channon, and today I'm joined by Dax Wallat, who is the partner with Leads Up AI. Dax, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, John.
Yeah, so would you like to just kick us off with a brief background as to who you are, what you do, and the business that you're in?
Yeah, so I started as a consultant for Microsoft, working implementing software for companies like Bushnell Rangefinders, the Chicago Bears, all sorts of large corporations. Found out that a lot of these local and small businesses didn't have this type of technology, and that's what led me to building Leads Up AI, which is an AI CRM.
So an AI-based CRM system. Hey,
Yep.
by the way, I grew up in Chicago, so go Bears.
Okay.
So, so what was the spark that kind of just led you to want to start up your own business and go out on your own?
Yeah, so I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't really know how to do it. And I met a guy while I was working for Microsoft on a Facebook group. His name's Ryan Schroeder. He's my business partner today. And I met him through that Facebook group, was talking to him about one of his other businesses, which is a property management company. And he needed some systems in place there. And we talked for a while, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to come over here and kind of get started helping my company and then start your own thing from there?" And that's what we did. And that's how I became an entrepreneur.
So AI is pretty new and there's a lot
Mhm.
of buzz about it out there. So maybe could you just explain to us a little bit more about AI and then a CRM tool and how you're bringing that together?
Yeah, so right now, our product is called Fuse AI. So anytime a lead fills out a form, so on a website or on Facebook or Google, YouTube, wherever, anytime a lead fills out a form, one of the biggest challenges that most companies face is speed to lead and getting to that lead fast enough. So we have our AI system, which will have create the initial outreach and have the conversation for you and book that appointment automatically onto your calendar so that the salespeople aren't having to, hop on the phone immediately, do everything at a super fast pace. The AI handles a lot of that for them. For example, one of our clients, they're a home buyer here in the Twin Cities. They had a speed to lead time. It was 9 hours and 23 minutes when they first, before they implemented the AI. That's the time it took them to either get a text back from that lead or to hop on the phone and have a conversation with that lead. After implementing the AI system, Fuse AI, they were able to cut that down to 27 minutes and 9 seconds, which resulted in 5 times the amount of appointments booked for them.
That's really cool. So I appreciate you taking the time to explain that. So you're roughly in your first couple of years worth of business, running a business, basically operate a business. What are some of the things that you've learned in those first few years that you didn't know before you got into this?
Well, I was a consultant before, so the consulting side has always come natural
Mhm.
running this business, but the technology side, both sides there have come very natural to me after my past experience. But the biggest challenge was sales for me. It's been the sales process and learning how to sell. My business partner is a good salesperson, so that's helped getting it up and going. But yeah, learning how to sell myself and do the accounting and track all of my numbers and how important all of that is running a business. That was the biggest challenge.
Okay, good. Uh, Talk a little bit about how much work it takes on the front end to get a new business up and going.
I mean, it can be as simple as you want to make it and as challenging as you want to make it. You can, have a bank account and you don't even need an LLC to really start up your original business. But to start up a business like ours, it's mostly building, putting all of the stuff together, and then networking and reaching out to people and having those conversations, a lot of lead generation, figuring out how to, create compelling emails for people to respond, create compelling outreach messages on Facebook, as well as, LinkedIn. And Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups are a huge gold mine for getting business.
Do you focus on certain types of industries, or is your product applicable to many different types of industries?
It's applicable to anyone that's generating a lead or has a contact list.
Okay. Well, that would be most people.
Pretty much every business out there. Yeah.
So that's kind of neat that what you guys do is help people manage leads, right? But what you talked about was, hey, we actually have to learn how to get the leads, right? Once you get a lead, your system takes over. And so talk a little bit more about Facebook groups and how they're kind of a gold mine out there.
Yeah, so certain Facebook groups have a lot of different business owners. So from a real estate perspective, we work with quite a few different real estate investors around the US. And there are a ton of different real estate investor groups where all of these business owners hang out. And if you can get into those type of groups, all you have to do is click on someone that you can see doing deals consistently and send out a personalized message to them. And that's where, instead of searching through every single person all the time, it's much easier to just go in a business or an entrepreneur group. For us specifically, and for customers, you can do the same thing. Maybe it's a local garage sale or local event type company.
Okay. So it sounds like, if you know who that ideal client is or that ideal target is, you can use these groups to basically identify them and get in front of them and engage, right? Okay, cool. So you guys are relatively new, right? Have you had much change in your business or much innovation so far? And if you have, what are you doing to kind of stay on top of that?
Yeah, so we've had quite a bit of change. As a new business, it always fluctuates. We originally started with advertising. One of our first clients was an advertising client with our CRM involved. And our CRM wasn't fully decked out for AI at that point. It had some AI, but not a lot. And so we started finding that a lot of these clients that we were working with weren't reaching out to their leads immediately. The leads were falling off. They weren't following up with leads. They had big databases of leads that have came in the past. And we were like, well, there's money all over the place for these companies to be successful and make more because they're not following up. They're not reaching out to those leads. And so that's why we transitioned more towards the AI process, is because we saw all of that, all of those gaps there.
So, yeah, I'm going to ask you my little magic wand question, right? So, just entertain me here. If you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about your business, what would that be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably the start of the business, right? I wish we would have been heavily focused on AI at the start. It still is very new, yes, but I wish we would have focused on AI from the start and just the AI CRM rather than, learning how to advertise on Facebook and advertise on Google and email market and all of these different ways to generate leads. Rather than having to do that, we would have just focused on on the AI CRM piece.
So you guys have so it sounds like you guys started broader initially.
Yep.
And now you've really narrowed your focus to what I would call, sounds like a differentiated niche.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how important was it for you guys to be able to do that and narrow that focus? What did it mean for your business?
Well, once we made that change, it's drastically increased our sales. We've doubled, tripled our sales compared to, when we were very broad. Sometimes as a small business, as a startup business, you just kind of take what you can get, right? From clients. They come in, hey, I need to solve this problem or this problem. Can you guys do it? Well, yeah, we'll figure it out. Or yes, we can do it. But now it's, as the company has evolved, it's moved to, this is what we do. We have other services like advertising and email marketing as well, but that's not our main focus.
That's good because it's tightened up the message then to the folks you're trying to attract.
Exactly.
Good. You mentioned you guys have doubled and tripled your sales. So could you just maybe give us a glimpse into your future plans and the goals that you have for your business?
Yeah, so right now we're putting a heavy focus on agencies, so advertising agencies, and creating relationships with them and larger businesses that have a lot of clients already, business owner clients, and allowing them to either resell our software or use our software for their clients. And that's really what is, giving us that steep incline in sales numbers.
So that also sounds like it was a bit of a business model shift that you guys experienced there then too.
A bit. We're still focused on, generating our own customers, but allowing that extra stream, right? That extra stream of opportunities where we don't have to do the selling. We just have to do the fulfillment. We have a team in place to do all of the fulfillment and the onboarding and meeting with all of the clients and everything. We have a team in place for that, but the time it takes to sell and do all of these additional outreach or lead generation, that can take a fair amount of time. So just generating another stream of income is really what we turn to for that.
Yeah, some people I know have said, there's a number of different ways to increase your revenues, and sometimes it's, sell more to the same customers, sell additional complementary product lines or revenue producing products. So that sounds cool. Good.
Yeah.
So, recognizing, the target for this show is people who are going to be in their first few years of business. Do you have any final thoughts or words of advice you'd like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, keep pushing. Everyone's gonna say, not everyone. You're gonna hear people reach out to you, or family or friends, like, hey, what are you doing? And you could go and get a great 9-to-5 job, very comfortable, cushy 9-to-5 job, but is that really what you want to do? If you have the entrepreneurial mind, you want to take matters into your own hands. And all I have to say to anybody aspiring to be an entrepreneur is go for it, take the leap. And you're probably going to struggle at the start, but that's okay, because every successful entrepreneur has struggled for 6 months, a year, 5 years. But you look at everyone successful. I'm a big Alex Hormozy fan, and he struggled for about 3 to 5 years, just getting business and being successful. And then he turned his business. Now he's worth over $100 million. And he just kept pushing.
Yeah, we call that being 3 feet from gold, right? You don't
Yeah,
keep digging because you're only 3 feet from gold.
exactly.
Great. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today, Dax. It was
Thanks,
great
John.
meeting. Yep. And it was great meeting you, learning more about your entrepreneurial journey and learning something new too, because this is an emerging area. So I'm really happy that you decided to be on the show. And then to everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you in our next episode.